In about 7.5 billion years, our sun is going to eat our planet. And this is bad news because this is where we live. This is where we play Minecraft. This is where we work. This is where we sleep. This is where everything lives. And if we want to survive this catastrophic event, we need to find a way to get off the planet in the face of the inevitable. And I'll be very generous and assume that the human race even exists at the point that that time comes. And I'm sure it will. I'm sure we'll figure something out. But how do we go about doing this? Now, I hopped on the bus this morning and I was looking out the window. The birds were chirping for the first time all winter. The mourning doves were out. It was a lovely, lovely, beautiful scene. And this thought came to mind. And the answer to how we get off of Earth and maybe colonize somewhere else, colonize another planet, hop on another server, per se, for our NPCs to gather on, uh, it's split up into two parts. But when it comes to this, there's a big limitation because you can only send so few people. And we got about 9 billion people on our planet as we speak. And the sad part is that not all of them are going to be saved in this crazy, catastrophic event. Although, who knows what will happen billions of years from now? I don't know what's going to happen. I'm born at the beginning. We're born at the very early stages, alright? Humanity's so young. This does have importance in what I'm going to talk about, by the way. This does have importance of how we're going to get billions of people off this planet. But I don't even know where I'm really going. But what I'm trying to say is that humanity is still very, very young. And there are billions of years ahead. Millions, thousands, tens of thousands. 2,000 years ago, there was the Roman Empire. Civilization has only existed for like, what, 5,000? We're very, very young. Computers have existed for about, I don't know, 50 years, 100 years. Really, really not all that long. The internet, even less so. My parents didn't even have the internet growing up, man. So we're in a very, very infant stage of existence. And a lot of people, their ideas come from their religion, they come from the people they're raised by, and not from maybe credible sources, not from maybe professionals or experts and all this stuff. So our knowledge is still very limited, which is going to be a limiting factor for us. But anyway, yeah, it's true. We're not going to be able to save everyone. But let's just ignore that. Let's negate this fact just for a short minute. We need to find a way to get a lot of people off the planet at once, and Starship is not going to cut it. So what do we do? Well, if you read any sci-fi book or anything, there's always these huge ships that entire civilizations live on. And I think this would probably be the most feasible way of getting people off the planet and moving them. Um, not even not even on an interstellar scale, just getting people off of Earth when it no longer is gonna exist, when the sun's gonna swallow it. So yeah, having some sort of arc or something to get people off the planet, this is feasible. Although we need to build the thing, and we absolutely are not going to build that thing on Earth and send it into space. It's going to be too heavy. So we have to construct it in space, which is going to be a whole challenge on its own, considering the size of something. If we're trying to fit, hundreds of thousands, even tens of thousands, thousands, or even hundreds of people, this stuff's going to be huge. And when you put this on an interstellar scale, oh my God, people are going to be people. Okay, the nearest star system, nearest habitable planet is like I don't even know. It's like 2 light years away or something, which realistically at realistic traveling speeds would probably take like 5 to 10 years. Although assuming we can get very close to the speed of light, so 2 years. But the really more habitable ones we've found, or ones we think are more habitable, they're like 50 light years away plus. Maybe even hundreds, maybe even thousands. So this really begs the question. If we want to save humanity, how the hell are we going to get an entire civilization of people to travel the course of generations and generations. So not only do we have the engineering problem of creating this sort of thing, but we also have the human problem of maintaining people in a zero gravity environment, perhaps for generations. And this is where religion comes in. Um, reg- Ignore the spew I went on about earlier, but religion is going to be a huge, huge factor in getting people to be content on this thing. We need to make up a religion to keep these people happy. Now, my idea of what this religion would look like, maybe it wouldn't be such a, maybe there wouldn't be a deity per se, but there would be a lot of wisdom withheld or held in this religion that would give people a sense of meaning, that would give people a sense of happiness, that religion teaches people in the real world. Religion teaches a lot of people morals and wisdom and the stories of people who have failed and the stories of people who have succeeded through the virtues and all the good things they've done, right? Like, I don't know, take like Jesus as an example, right? Like, oh, he never sinned, yada yada yada, all this. It's good wisdom, right? Don't cheat on your wife, don't be mean to people, treat the people around you nicely, and then you won't have any issues. And this is kind of what this religion's gonna look like. It's gonna be very wisdom based, because that's what a lot of people get out of religion. It's wisdom. A lot of wisdom comes from a religion as well as morals, but also purpose. And also, if you have a purpose, if you become the God, if your people who believe the religion are the God because they're traveling generation after generation to something they might not even see in their lifetime, but they're a part of something bigger, you have to get people in a position where they believe in this thing so much that it's almost like a religion where people who are very religious, they're like, I don't care what happens to me on earth, as long as I'm good, I'm gonna go to heaven, and that's all that matters, right? So people can care less about their physical selves. They care about their spiritual self. So if we can get people to um, kind of adapt to this really spiritual idea of what they're doing, right? They're saving humanity, right? They are the gods, basically. They are playing God by surviving and reproducing and having kids and, fixing all the holes in their giant spacecraft. Then it looks like we'll probably be fine in getting there. And what this also does, it solves the issue of people saying, "Hey, why couldn't I just stay on Earth? Why do I have to be here? Why do I have to sit in this giant metal box my whole life when I could have sat on Earth and I could have looked at the trees and I could have done this and that? Who cares if I would have died anyway? Who cares if, the sun's gonna eat the planet? I don't care. I don't want to be on this damn spacecraft anymore. Get me off." And then it's like all of a sudden you got rebellion, all this. It's like, well, there goes your chances of saving the human race. When everyone gets together, they make their own sort of deals. They make their own sort of ideas. That is when things do not get good. And that is when everything kind of hits the fan and no longer will we be an interstellar species. And that's got to be the biggest barrier of us doing that. Like if if we like dude, we're people at the end of the day. All right? We're just great apes. We're just big apes. And you might disagree with that depending on your religion, but for me, how I feel, I like to be very humble about my existence. I like to think I'm just a silly ape, and all I can do in this world is leave people better off than how I found them. All I can do is maybe share some wisdom with the world. We're just silly apes, man. Everyone has their own ideas of existence. But yeah, if we want to send some people to different star systems, it's going to take a lot of work. We would have to build huge, huge sort of spacecrafts and like in our own orbit. And then something like Starship can transport people there, and then eventually that thing can blast off. That would be pretty controversial, given people would still be stuck on Earth and not aboard that thing. And I don't think it's really practical to put everyone on that. I mean, dude, get like, I don't know. It's how the hell are you gonna put everyone on this damn thing? I don't think you can, which is terrible. So you got to make more, right? Ethically, if you want to save the human species, you got to save everyone, not just Americans, not just the Chinese, not just specific groups of people. We need to save everyone because we are one race, the human race. So yeah, we gotta build these things in space, send them off, and then we also need some sense of spirituality attached to it, because science, it gives, it gives, it gives answers, it gives new ideas, but it does not give purpose, right? Oh yeah, we're rotating around a star in our solar system, in our galaxy, in this location in the universe. Does that give us any purpose? No, it gives us less purpose. So I think religion would have a great deal of importance in sending people to different star systems. I think that would be really, really important. Anyway, yeah, if you have a different idea on how we would do something like that, billions of years from now, uh, comment down below. If you think we'll even make it that long, comment down below. Let me know what you have to think. I'll respond to comments. But that'll be all. Like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.